Hey everybody, so off-road day 3 complete. It was awesome today, and I feel 100%. I woke up, my headaches were gone, I had no problems with my head, so that was great. My body felt really good. I got lots of sleep, and even, like that rash you get in the nether regions from sitting on a bike seat all day long, miraculously that went away as well. And I was like, you know what, I feel good, I'm heading out today. And I'm glad I did, because it was the best day of riding for the whole event. It was so much like Southern Ontario single track, flowing. Like if Warren Thaxter was out here, he'd be like, yep, I recognize those type of trails. They look like the stuff I built. It was so good. The extreme stuff was amazing. There was 3 kilometers of going down the mountain in a riverbed with these big rocks and boulders. It was incredible. And the hill climbs kept going and going and going and going. Like, I know what my friends say that have been there before when they said they just don't stop. They don't. And we did a hill climb today that was so high, we went through a cloud and then we came up above the cloud bank on this mountaintop. And I was like, holy moly, we came to this really cool looking little, I gotta switch hands here, I still got a little bit of arm pump going on. We came across this really cool, like log cabins. I guess the farmers and the shepherds and stuff like that build these on top of the hill so they can go up there, take care of their herd, and then leave back into town. But when we got to the top, it started to kind of hail, almost like ice pellets on borderline snow, sleet. And I was like, whoa, here we go. So I put on my rain jacket and we started heading down the mountain. And as we went down, it got worse and worse and worse until we got to the point where it was raining so hard and the thunder and lightning were so close together. It was like flash, boom, flash, boom. And I was like, oh, this is getting insane. So myself and Juan, we decided, we're really going to slow down. And then the single track couldn't even be seen because there was so much water coming down. And then as I'm turning around, looking at the water coming down, I'm seeing stones and rocks following the water. And I'm like, this is really dangerous. But that's, I guess, Red Bull Romaniacs. So we kept going, and I was like, the whole time I was like, man, this mountain's going to come down behind me. And then I came across a section of trail where I had to take a bypass because the water was so heavy, it literally caved in the side of the trail. So I had to kind of go up and down and in and out, and oh, it was brutal. And then, unfortunately, when we got to the bottom, because we took so much time getting down the mountain in that snow or the rainstorm, we time barred. So what that means is they allocate us 8.5 hours to complete 136 kilometers of trail, and we missed out by 16 kilometers. We were 16 kilometers to the end, but we were okay with that, and I'm okay with it too. Again, my mission here is not to win this race or do anything. It's just to complete it, experience it, enjoy it, and today was amazing. So that was a quick update, and I hope that I'll be able to get some footage. I know once the event is done and all the party festivities stuff happen and you get to see all the arches, I'll start filming then, and you'll get a better look at things. But that's it for now. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with voice commentary of my prologue, and you can find out what I was thinking as I was going through the ride. Take care. See you soon.
Okay, so this is the prologue start at the Red Bull Romaniacs. In front of me is my teammate, Juan Carlos Estuida. Hope I pronounced that right. Anyways, he's getting ready to go. It kind of looks like they leave people every 10 or 15 seconds. So at this point in time, I'm pretty nervous. I'm not getting the butterflies, but I'm like, okay, things are going to get real. And then she puts her hand up and starts the countdown, and I'm like, now I'm focused. And flag goes up, I take off. So the first obstacle is maybe about 3 feet high, and it's just an up-down, no real drama. And this log was simple. They made these boards. And then they had this little kind of ramp you go over and up and down with logs spread apart every 4 feet. And this log I just went over. That one had a bunch of, it was on a rail, so it moved. And then you can see Juan's ahead of me walking his bike, and I rode this first section clean, but when I got into this balance beam, I lost it almost immediately, and I got stuck in between. So I was just gunning it, just giving that thing all she had and trying to push it forward and get her to move. Once I rolled back and wheelied up and bounced over everything else, I was free and clear. And then I was on a mission to try to get things moving a little quicker, but these chains here really slow me down. They're really tightly binded between those logs, and they're very springy, so the tire wants to naturally bounce around on it. The rock pile was a different scenario. We had walked the rock pile. As you can see, I kind of fell. Didn't really fall. Like it was more of like I went to dab, and there was no rock there to put my foot on, so everything just kind of toppled. But that line, I walked about 10 times the night before, and between then and the next morning, I guess some rocks and a few things got changed to that part of the course, and the line was no longer there that I had pre-looked at. So, yeah, they fooled us, and I just had to struggle through it. But these boards, these ramps were kind of cool. They were really easy. And then up ahead was an obstacle called Do You Like Your Bike? And you can either go up on either side and slide your bike down, or just muscle and power through that log. Now that log sat a good 4.5 to 5 feet off the ground. It was high. These were water bins. The middle one was empty, but they had logs in them. So I basically just had to drive through it. This section here was called the step case of the pyramid or something. We were allowed to bypass it. And at the end there, I hit my shifter against the wood and knocked into neutral. So I was sitting there, not going anywhere. That obstacle, just going over, I was really worried about that one. I thought for sure I was going to crash. This tire one was really simple. I just rode it, and then I had this field of tires, and I've never done that before. And I knew the technique, but it just wasn't clicking at that time. I was not worn out, but just my brain was in overdrive mode, and I wasn't focusing as much as I should be. So my front wheel landed in a tire. I just had to pop it out, and then once I got moving and refocused, I rode through the tires fine. It was no issue. Those concrete barriers were nothing. They were simple, just kind of basically ride over them. This turnaround up here was a little daunting because you had to turn on the top of the platform. You didn't have a lot of space. So, and then we went across the path, and then this is the higher speed stuff. So you just want to give her as much as you can to catch up. Nothing big. A couple, maybe 2 foot, 2.5 foot logs you had to jump over. Lots of traction because of the cobblestones. So. And these up and down ramps were cool. They went past the boardwalks and the catwalks that went up to the hotel rooms. And that cable mat there that I just rode over, that some riders got caught up on the cables. I guess they busted it open. The speaker cables were getting caught. That was a big one. I didn't realize how far I was going to jump up in the air, that log, so I just rocketed myself and almost lost it into the fence, but I held on to it. This jump was fun. Over I go, and then back over the same two little teeter-totter pyramid things or whatever, and then off to the finish line with a little wheelie. That was my prologue. It went by really fast. My total time, I think, was 3 minutes and 42 seconds it took me to do it. And Juan got 2 minutes and 10 seconds or something like that, or 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I can't remember. He was about 15-20 seconds faster than me. But he had a really good run. He had a nice clean line. He did well. He was super nervous, and he held it together. I was pretty happy we both made it, so I threw my bike down and gave my buddy a big hug. And at this point, we were just talking about it, reviewing how we did it. Thank goodness Mike Bergerman was ahead of us by like 20 riders. By the time he was done, he was able to come back to the start line and give us a few pointers and tips of what lines we should hit. So that was really helpful, especially the tires ones, the balance beam tires. He said just ride over it. It's nothing. It's easy. So yeah, that kind of wraps things up.